Daniel Reichert, we have reached the end. We have finished watching the story, at least for now. Night 2 has ended.
Yeah.
My feet hurt. We are sitting in a hotel lobby.
After a saga.
No,
and we're not talking about the wrestling. We're talking about, I'm not going to name our driver. Boy, we got hosed real bad.
Quite the heel turn.
Our driver did a heel turn, tried to bring other people into our lift, then tried to get us to pay cash, and then we had to get out and walk around for an hour, walking around trying to find another, in the cold, in a city we don't know, all because one driver, I won't say his name, but
who you were actively messaging and calling on the phone saying,
on the way,
we'll be there, they can see our location, we're actively moving towards them, and then the scariest cab in the world was trying to get us to pay $80 to get here.
Yes.
Back to the hotel.
Yes.
But we have watched WrestleMania nights 1 and 2. Night 1, I think we're both feeling a little worse than wear, but now we've perked up a bit from this morning.
Well, the thing is, though, it's like a little sad now because like wrestling's over. Like they finished the whole wrestling story.
Yeah, they're done. Series finale.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. This morning, I think we were both like, this is a week-long trip.
Yeah.
And WrestleMania, the 2-night thing definitely helps a lot with the fatigue. You know, post 35 was the worst I think any WrestleMania veterans had.
Right.
And the 2 nights has helped a lot.
Yeah.
But it's still a lot of fucking wrestling. It's a lot of people are traveling like us. You know, we flew and then running around cities and seeing a ton of wrestling. I guess we saw, what were these shows, like 4 hours long each, 5 hours, the Mania shows?
I want to say, well, this one ended like before 11.
Yeah.
So like 4 hours.
I'd say we've probably we've sat in seats for about a dozen hours of wrestling over the last few days.
Yeah.
Right?
And the thing is, whenever Mania comes to town, there's an obscene amount of indies that pop off.
Yes.
We only got the chance to see WWE stuff. So we were there for SmackDown, Hall of Fame, Night 1 of Mania, Night 2, and we'll be at Raw tomorrow.
Yep. Yeah, when you do the press thing, it's like you kind of get put on this list where it's like, all right, here's your ticket for this, here's your ticket for this, and you end up doing
we also would have been at NXT Stand and Deliver if we weren't filming some stuff.
We did the tailgate stuff, which we got a video coming. We got a few videos and stuff coming from the trip.
Yeah.
That'll be TBD.
Yes.
But yeah, we didn't. I've not seen Stand and Deliver. Hell, maybe I'll put that on while I'm falling asleep tonight. Heard good things. Heard for some people in the parking lot that were leaving, and some were conscious, and others not as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, good for Trick and everyone on that show. It sounds like Julia showed up, which is cool.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Can't really speak to that too much, but we can speak to what we were there for.
Yes, which I don't quite remember most of our predictions from
I think
WrestleMania.
I remember most of them.
Okay.
We were in step with most of them. I think mine were a little better than yours.
Well, you know, we don't need to nitpick here.
Well, you know, while I'm putting myself over, I want to say that, folks, you know, something I've gotten a lot of flack for on GiantBomb.com on this here website is an unsavory thing that I've done many a time at WrestleManias and other wrestling events where I skip, you know, I go into a door maybe you're not supposed to go into for the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I grew up, folks. I'm a bigger man. Jan, did I skip the line? Did I skip in front of hundreds of people even once at this WrestleMania?
No. Yeah, I was pretty much with you the whole time.
Yeah, I went into the proper door for the bathroom every single time.
Proper doors. Yeah.
I mean, never mind that we were in a press box. And
there were more opportunities to cut people in line. Yeah. Dan did not do that.
If I just wanted to get my jollies, I could have gone down to the main floor and just skipped just to kind of get my rocks off.
Exactly. Yeah. I do not want to inhibit anyone from getting their freak on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the predictions. Let's just go match by match. Let's start with one, and I'll say what I think I remember our predictions were.
I vaguely remember some stuff, but like the nitty gritty, I don't quite remember the weird predictions. But anyway,
sure. When we start night 1, I noticed there was no jets. There's usually jets.
No jets.
Like crazy military display.
Yeah.
There were no jets, and there was no. They never did the big pyro like going up like around the
stadium and
outside
everything,
ones,
yeah.
or even the inside ones. They showed the outer shot with the
Right,
It could have been a wind thing. I don't know.
It was very cold.
It was cold, and it was windier and colder night one.
Yes,
for
yeah.
sure.
Night one felt a little bit more miserable. And I know, like, oh, you guys are in the press box. Like, why would it be like miserable? But for whatever reason, the conditions in the press box, maybe the vibe was weird. It felt off.
I was. In what way do you mean?
I think maybe having like the windows closed just kind of separated you from the feeling.
It definitely did, and there was the delay. Like, you couldn't hear. There aren't many promos during WrestleMania, but we couldn't really hear that. They did eventually turn on the TV so we could hear the commentary and everything, kind of. But there's a delay, and it's like, honestly, it's a press box, but it is not the best view, and I'm not going to complain about the free. But
the pacing, we felt this way during night two, but the pacing in night one, in retrospect, it kind of did feel off. Like, there was like a little bit of, it felt like a dip.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I guess we'll just go through the match card and then.
Yeah. Some other like general things while I'm thinking of it. The first match we had here was, Rhea versus Becky. And it's the first time we noticed it's a championship match, and they were given for the championship matches the special kind of presentation with Samantha in there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
8K cameras. And that shit looked cool as hell.
Yeah.
Like, Rhea with the 8K camera, and also Samantha Urban. Just
my God.
She is fucking awesome.
Like, yeah, it is now like a desire for Samantha Irvin to like announce me coming to a ring or entering a room.
Just belting it out.
Yeah.
Awesome, yeah.
I think she's going to go down in like WWE history as like one of like the greatest ring announcers.
She's instantly over. It takes a lot for a ring announcer to get over. There's some really talented ones. My buddy Mike Rome is a really good one.
Yeah.
Boy, he's got to put up with the rising star of Samantha Urban now.
Yeah, but hey, it is all well deserved, and just like she's become a very important part of the show, I think. Like,
and like adds to the show. It's not just like a good voice, a good ring announcing.
Yeah.
She does the little plays on Chelsea Green or Imperium and stuff.
Yeah.
And just a delight.
And there's also like a lot of emotion, like when she does like announce a winner.
Yeah.
Like we'll get to it later, but I know she did get a little choked up when she mentioned Sammy's.
Oh,
Sammy won. For Mania.
Well, did you see somebody found like old tweets of hers recently where she's like complaining about Roman Reigns?
Oh my! Oh yeah.
This motherfucker's not my champion or whatever. It's like, so she's a mark. She's a fellow mark. So
yeah.
It's gotta mean a lot to her. So anyway, just shout out to Samantha. She's amazing.
Yeah. God. Yeah. I don't know. We'll get to it with night two. There was a unique complaint, not from me.
Okay.
But from the folks in the stadium.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll
get to that.
Don't
forget
that. Okay.
I won't.
Rhea, champion. I forget now that there's the WWE Women's Championship and the Women's Heavyweight. This is the Women's World Championship.
Okay, sure.
I haven't quite figured those out. They look kind of similar to the belts.
Even with the normal, or with the men's titles, I don't remember the difference.
Sure.
Yeah.
But Rhea's title, the one she won at WrestleMania last year, she's now going to be holding it for over a year because she defeated Becky Lynch, who was a book lady, was her character now.
Yeah. She's a writer.
Well, I'm reading her book right now, and like I was thinking, like, I bet she sold some books with that gear because think about how many people just watch WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And like they go to a watch party or something like that, and they've seen Becky Lynch the last several years.
They have Peacock.
Yeah. It's like, oh shit, okay, I didn't know she wrote a book. I bet that was probably a pretty good move. Like to make it like the AR, the gear, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's great. Becky's awesome, and we'll get to the set stuff with them both losing. I think it's a great time for them both to take some time off. They have both been major workhorses for the company for many years.
Yeah. I like this match a lot.
Yeah.
I think both of them looked incredibly strong.
Yep. Fast-paced, too.
Fast-paced, too. Like, the opening match flew by. Both opening matches for both nights, very well-paced. And I liked, for the most part, until the end of the Drew-Seth match, no shenanigans. But Rhea... It was nice to see Rhea wrestle because I feel like we haven't actually seen a lot of that.
Well, she's so dominant typically, and like that's the character.
Yeah.
Like every once in a while, like last year with Charlotte and this year with Becky, it's like, man, she can fucking go.
Mm-hmm.
She has every tool that you need to be like an all-time great.
Yeah. And then just like seeing how she is captivating virtually everyone.
Yeah.
Like she has such a presence to her that's like undeniable.
Yeah.
And like Becky's Becky, and like that's not ragging on her, but like Becky's amazing still.
I do think Becky is incredible and one of the best of all time. I think there's an argument for being the best female wrestler of all time. But I do feel like the character, you know, we had a little bit of a heel thing where she wore the wacky outfits and stuff, but like the Becky we've gotten recently hasn't evolved that much from the like, I'm the man, I'm the badass, and I'm the man comes around, and you know, it's like, okay, I think, you know, it would be a decent time for her to take some time off.
Yeah, neat.
Come back with something, a different twist on it. Because like Rhea does feel like she's always evolving, and like ever since joining the Judgment Day, certainly, she's really clicked into the role she's in. So I do think she's a more fascinating character to watch right now.
Yeah, like I've always loved the character of the man, especially when it was initially popping off. But I do agree that, not that it feels stale, it's been more of the same. And I think Becky is capable of like bringing out a stronger, fleshed out character. And then some time away does everyone favors.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love the finish. Loved the riptide into the buckle.
Yes.
Go in just straight. It doesn't go for the cover. Just boom, boom. Another one. You know, clean as a whistle, middle of the ring. Becky, you know, known to be a very giving performer in terms of like wants to help the next generation. Talent. You know, does no problem, no ego about putting other people over.
Yeah.
We did both predict Rhea.
Yes. Yeah. It was. I think it's just great to actually see Rhea wrestle because the match with Nia was okay. And it's just fun seeing both of those women wrestle.
Yep. Yeah. They're awesome. Great for both of them. And Rhea, keep the reign going.
Yes. Who do you think is next for Rhea?
Oh, I mean, there's new situations now with like at some point, Jade.
Yeah.
Is going to be ready for a big-time championship singles match.
Yeah.
I think something like a Rhea versus Jade, I think you build it. That's a WrestleMania match right there.
Yeah.
So I don't think you go to that anytime soon, and I don't know if Rhea holds the title for a year. So I think you can get a couple pay-per-views or premium live events in where, traditional Rhea just dominating someone, maybe throwing like a triple threat or a fatal four-way to mix things up.
Yeah.
But some easy wins, I would say.
Sure.
Like when you fight like Zelina in Puerto Rico, where it's like, okay, well, we know how this is going to go, but maybe it'll be a fun feud. So
I wouldn't mind if they try and build up Shayna Baszler, because like that's another hard-hitting person.
It'd be a unique match.
Yeah, it would slow down Rhea a lot.
Yeah. That'd be good. So that's the thing. Is like she is on such a different level that there's not many women I can really see being believable at beating her.
Yeah.
Charlotte, yes. Becky,
of course.
Yes. In time, Jade, of course.
Yeah.
Bianca? I feel like they must have done that at some point in the last year, right?
I know they've done that in NXT for sure.
They definitely did. But I think they did it some like B-show, PLE.
Yeah, it felt like they did like meet each other at one recently.
I would think so, but it's not a great sign that if they did, I don't remember it.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, Rhea, she's just
incredibly
keep
over.
Keep her on her. She's one of a kind talent.
Yes, yeah, and I mean, there's so much room to continue to grow with Judgment Day.
Oh yeah, and whatever happens next after Judgment Day with her, like she's young.
Yes,
she's extremely good for how young she is.
Yeah,
she's going to be around for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I know that Judgment Day as a faction is heel, but Rhea is sometimes, when she's outside of Judgment Day, presented as a face.
Yes.
But she could go heel, go against Naomi. I don't know if they've gone against each other.
That's a fun idea there. That'd be cool. That'd be something cool for Naomi to do now that she's back.
Yeah.
That would be higher profile than what she's been doing so far.
Exactly.
So, although, that's it. We'll get to the big three there. And, wow. Okay, next up. Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship six-pack tag team.
Oh boy.
Awesome Truth and A-Town Down Under, which I think I called.
I want to say you did, yes.
I think I said it was Awesome Truth and A-Town Down Under.
Yeah.
So I got one up on them.
Yeah.
So yes, Awesome Truth and A-Town Down Under split the titles. They beat Judgment Day, DIY, New Day, and New Catch Republic. This was a very smart way to split the titles.
Yeah, especially with how the shows seem like they're gonna be more separated than they've been.
Yeah.
I think this is an incredibly smart move. Was not a train wreck.
I mean, it wasn't the right way.
Yeah.
Just crazy spots,
yeah.
But it wasn't like too much. It was like
yes.
And it wasn't too much of the I didn't notice as much of like these matches. You get a lot of the okay, here's the part where they're awkwardly setting up since there were so many dudes in the match.
Yeah.
I think they were setting up spots and ladders and stuff while other shit was going on. So it wasn't as much of okay, here's the setting up. Here's everyone laying around for 20 minutes. I mean, that was happening.
Yeah.
But there were so many people in the match that it was less obvious.
Yeah. I loved Austin's gear walking to the ring, the homage to Creed, especially in Philly.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and Kobe had it too. That was yeah, he had the stallion gear. That was awesome. God bless him. Consequences Creed, come back.
There was a second there where I thought I wouldn't mind seeing New Day win here.
All timers. I mean, give them another one. They're not old men yet.
No, not at all. I absolutely adored the hot tag spot from Awesome Truth.
Yes.
I was waiting for I hate that. I love and hate the Truth has kind of put himself into this spot where everyone is expecting a spot from a different type of match in the current match he's
confused
in.
about something.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he wound up doing the 5 moves of doom from his childhood hero Cena.
The funniest bit.
It's so good. And I love Miz is doing something, and he's not mad or frustrated with Truth. He's just befuddled, but all right, he's my buddy.
He's getting with Truth by this point. They've known each other for a very long time.
Yeah, I love. I still feel mixed on A-Town Down Under.
They're both fun buttheads.
Yeah,
and I think them with titles gives them a reason to be more obnoxious buttheads.
Yeah,
and so I think that could be fun. I don't need a million talk show segments. I mean, the Grayson Waller effect. I feel like that was maybe a Vince era thing, the constant talk shows, and we don't need those all the time. We had a KO show on SmackDown, it's it's lazy. I don't like it. But.
They won pretty fast in that match, much faster than I thought.
Yeah, which was smart too, because of the unique thing of both titles being up there. So it would make sense that we've got kind of 2 climaxes here, and the fact that they got them, they're well, fuck, let's get those now too. You know, that's fun. I think.
Yeah, it was just it's such a hilarious image to see 4 belts suspended, and then all these men in ladders. They hit all the classic spots you do in a ladder match. Grayson Waller, immediately after winning the titles, goes through a ladder.
Yeah, you can imagine that backstage. All right, Grayson, good news, bad news. We got a spot plan, but you are going to win the titles. It was fun. It was, everyone loves it. They've always had these everyone end of the pool matches where it's everyone's getting a payday.
Yeah.
But in the past, there have been years where it was a men's and women's remember there was it was gonna be the moolah and then they changed it.
Oh,
so, the not moolah and the Andre, and it's Jesus Christ, it's 2 clusterfuck battle royals that don't actually mean anything at all. I'm glad that if you're gonna get a bunch of people in one big match, make it a fun clusterfuck like this with actual stakes. So the title.
Yeah. I think I also predicted JD McDonough was going to have a huge, Spike Dudley-esque spot.
Yep.
He did interfere, didn't have... They threw him through a table, right?
He took one of those spots, I think, where there was a table on the outside and he was on a ladder on the inside, and I think they did a tip-over spot. I don't remember, but that sounds right. I think everyone looked great. I know that people are upset that Pretty Deadly weren't on... the card, but they did the intro for everything, clowning on everying. So they got featured somehow. It's good. Yeah.
Good ladder match.
Good stuff. Fun spots.
Good train wreck.
The DX thing with the DIY. That was fun, So, good stuff. Next up, we had, Ray and Andrade versus Santos and Dirty Dom. I think we both thought Dirty Dom's team was going to win, and we were wrong.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
This match was okay.
It was, you had the stacked crossbody spot, which is a real fun spot with Andrade and Ray, but it felt like kind of a come down,
Yeah.
You just had this big clusterfuck thing. We got some big stuff coming up next. It did feel like a come down.
Yeah.
And honestly, maybe I just haven't been watching enough, but it did feel a little like there weren't a lot of stakes. I didn't really remember, maybe I haven't watched enough to know why they were beefing with each other. Or...
They kind of set up this Dom and Ray again pretty recently.
Yeah, and Dom and Ray had such a story and everything and set up last year that this did feel less than, I would say.
Yeah.
Great workers, all of them, obviously.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like, Zelina and Elektra Lopez got involved. Joaquin Wilde, shouts out to my non-Latino and a Latino faction.
Oh, sure.
Doing the launched off the rope spot.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Carlito didn't turn.
Oh, yeah, I mean, maybe we'll see something on Raw. As of this recording, it's night 2, so we're going to Raw tomorrow. But, that will be seen. You mentioned, like, Elektra and Zelina. There were a decent amount of people that had their first WrestleMania moment.
That's true. Like Angel Garza, Humberto Carrillo.
Tons of people.
Yeah.
I was realizing, oh, God, they've never had a match. They've never had, like, LA Knight,
Oh,
like
right.
a guy that's been working for, 20 years or whatever, and good for him. We'll get to them.
Santos Escobar, too, then, right? Or
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if you told me there were like a dozen people who this was the first WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Is this Andrade? No, Andrade's had a Mania.
I think this might have been his first Mania match. He was NXT. He had a lot of like NXT, like standing delivery type or whatever the analog of that was,
Yeah, and I mean, this match also made me remember how good Andrade is.
He's fantastic.
He operates at such like a speed that is like scary but accurate.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it kind of seems wild to think a couple months ago he was floundering in AEW.
And then when they first brought him in to WWE again,
it's like,
he didn't have a lot to do.
Yeah.
And now that it's like, okay, we're actually kind of factoring him in, it's like, right, he's got a lot to offer.
Yeah, like he's one of those dudes you could slot him in to the main event at any point.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, or just give someone a hell of a match.
Yeah.
Like him and Gargano back in the day.
Oh, like I could see him like going back, turning heel, feuding with Sammy for the Intercontinental.
Oh God. Yeah, there's some killer matchups.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Jan, we took a little break here.
Yep.
Because we just had look, any wrestling fan listening to this probably knows the spot we're in. We just watched a bunch of wrestling. We're tired.
Very.
And we ordered a bunch of Taco Bell, and Jay and I convinced you to try the Stacker. So this is also going to be a review of Taco Bell Stacker, which I'm a big proponent of, but I want to hear what Jan has to say.
Dan, this feels silly. This looks like the chicken quesadilla literally folded in on itself.
Yeah, but they added more cheese, and it's beef. Try it.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, there's no napkin.
Oh no.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Okay,
yeah. Oh, there's the bathroom, I guess.
Okay. Talk to the folks.
Okay. So, audio listeners, is going to play very poorly. I hope everyone enjoyed Mania. But this, as someone that is pro Taco Bell, this feels very silly. This is literally a quesadilla folded in on itself. And I feel like you lose the nice bits where it is flat, and I feel like you get a lot more of the sauce. I really enjoy the quesadilla sauce that Taco Bell puts in. It just feels like more cheese and some ground beef. There's a lot more tortilla. There's wasted space here. There's a lot, like, if you're watching the video, this feels like too much tortilla.
What?
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe the cheese to meat distribution is a little off here. I'm going to squeeze it out.
Like popping a pimple.
I have some rogue lettuce in mine.
That's not supposed to happen.
Wow.
I tend to not order things with green things in them. Oh, wrestling.
Yes.
Let me pull up the thing again.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, I don't know about you.
Yes.
I'm so tired.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Are we going to be able to get through this?
Yeah.
We don't have to. We got tomorrow, too.
Let's do night one.
Okay.
Let's get through night one.
Jay and Jimmy.
So, I had a lot of hype for this match.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Usos. Hometown boys like me from San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
The promo was pretty good. This is like third time this has happened in WrestleMania history, apparently.
With real brothers.
With real brothers.
With Shoot Brothers, yeah.
With Shoot Brothers. I think this was the weakest match of both nights.
For both nights?
Yeah, I want to say.
I definitely feel that way about night one, but yeah, you think worst overall?
I don't want to say...
Worst is a strong word.
Worst is a strong word.
Yeah.
Just like a low point. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a dip, probably.
Never really got out of second gear, you know?
Yeah.
I don't even know if it got to second gear, really, you know?
It felt like... I know both of them are very good wrestlers.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like they were just caught in that in between of like getting to that second gear.
Yeah, and the drama they were trying to do as well, and I don't think any of that was really picking up too much.
Yeah. I really adored that promo they played of like, I'm not my brother's keeper, because there's like, you know, as we both say, wrestling is great and the best when it leans into real life things. And they're real life twins, shoot brothers. They were just trading super kicks back and forth and doing the splash repeatedly.
Yeah, that's what we did with our brothers growing up, right?
Only child.
No, we both had brothers, right?
Oh, yeah. Me and Jerome, yeah.
Protect the business,
Yeah.
I had Jan. Dan and Jan. My brother's name's Jan. I never brought him up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good joke, right? No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I'm tired. All right. Yeah, it was. I don't even want to say it was weak.
No.
By comparison, on a really stacked card.
Yeah.
It did not stand out, and it never really kicked into gear.
Yeah, I thought if there was any time for shenanigans, this was definitely a match that could have used some shenanigans. Having like Solo at least just pop in, maybe like Rikishi getting involved.
Or a gimmick. What about like if it was a cage match or a Hell in a Cell?
Oh my God! If this was a cage match, I think it would have felt completely different. Yeah.
Not just it was just a normal match and didn't really had a lot of that stuff where they're talking to each other in the middle of like. The last few years, you see more of that. Like, okay, the mics are picking up with Roman talking to someone, like the pandemic and beyond. You see a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, like soaking it in. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the soaking in it wasn't effective enough. It was completely fine. I don't want to make people think it's like a terrible match. It was perfectly fine. Just like like you said, 2 stacked nights.
I think there are a lot of WrestleManias from the not too far past that this would have been a standout match.
Oh yeah.
Comparison, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Next up, 6-woman tag team match: Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi against Damage Control. God damn it, we got some stars here.
Oh my God. Yeah. I know it probably for Damage Control fans, I guess, it felt a little one-sided at times, but like Damage Control.
What else you got to do with this match, you know?
The entrance alone with it's over. Wrestling's done, guys. The entrances with Bianca, Naomi, and Jade, like on the Cody Vader going up, silhouetted stars.
Jade, you're getting her first WrestleMania entrance, looking just like the biggest star in the world, right?
Mm-hmm. Like this is, you mentioned this a lot, and it's like this is your first time watching wrestling, and you see Jade, you're just like, no, that's someone that belongs on this. Like this is like a Greek god.
I've seen him firsthand plenty of times, whether it's old AEW stuff or like the Rumble this year, where I'm having like a watch party and I have people over. Frequently we'll have people that don't watch wrestling, and I love gauging that. And Jade is, without a doubt, the one. Every time she shows up on screen, new people are like, holy shit, who is that?
Exactly, yeah. Like, it just grabs your eye. And she was positioned super well.
Yes. Look at her as a hot tag at the end that comes in with a bunch of powerhouse moves.
Yeah.
It's so much more interesting to me than like the AEW style with her, where it's like, we're just having her do matches with, I don't know, Sky Blue or, whoever. And it's like, she's not wrestling like a powerhouse. Like she felt like fucking Kane. And
that's a good pull. Yeah, I think like
works for her.
100%. And like being in the ring with like across wrestlers like Dakota, Kairi, Asuka, like those are people that are going to make you look incredibly amazing, and especially people to play to her strengths since they're like physically smaller.
Oh, like Kairi
wrestlers
bumped around, Dakota too.
Oh my God, yeah.
Asuka can do God's work with anyone,
Yeah, like Asuka and Jade down the line could be a fantastic match where like Asuka's like cutting her down, and then Jade just excels. Also, not to undersell Naomi or Bianca Belair, because like amazing performances like earlier in the match as well, like playing their part.
Oh, they're both incredible.
It's also so good to see Naomi getting the reception that she deserves. Is Bianca Belair undefeated in WrestleMania so far?
Yeah, so she's got the current like Mania streak. So you had she debuted at 36, the pandemic one, but it wasn't a match. At 37, she beat Sasha. 38, she beat Becky. 39,
Asuka.
she beat Asuka, and this one the tag, so she's 4-0. Yeah.
I would love that streak to build.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, who better? You know, like she's unbelievably good.
Yeah.
Women's roster is getting
It's so stacked.
really stacked right now, and again with like Julia coming in, Jade just came in.
Yeah.
Rhea is just, we're watching a legend in the making. Like, it is incredible. It's an incredible time for women's wrestling and WWE specifically.
Yeah, and like there's a bunch of wrestlers on NXT that like will eventually get moved up. I mean, Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Talking about wrestlers that are very young and getting it at a very young age.
Insane, yeah. It's very exciting. It's super exciting to see.
Yeah. I mean, a running theme this year is the future's looking very bright.
Yes. Oh, so that's something we didn't talk about yet. We went to the Hall of Fame. We only hung out because it was getting pretty late for Paul Heyman's speech, which we were surprised he was inducted first.
Yeah.
But he put over Triple H in the biggest way possible. Like, pretty much a solid FU to the previous administration.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
And if anybody was going to say something about the previous administration, Vince,
Yeah.
it would have been him, because he's Mr. I'm going to say it even though I'm not supposed to say it.
Yeah.
And he did plenty of that. But
a lot of
no
that.
one mentioned Vince. There were lots of implied Vince things
Yes.
going on.
Yeah.
A big one, Stephanie being out there. That's huge.
She doesn't work here.
She's not an employee of the company. And her talking about, like, lots of talk about the new era, and, like, people directly, you know, skip ahead, Cody telling Triple H to come out. A lot of people being like, hey, check this out.
Yeah.
This guy's doing it now, and he fucking gets it, and
Yeah.
the old witch is dead, you know.
And I know that, like, okay, that's probably Hunter positioning himself in that way also. But, like, at the same time, I don't think it's, like, completely disingenuous for the roster to kind of want to celebrate that either, though.
Right, and you can get cynical, too, with, like, okay, you also want to curry favor by sucking up to the new boss. You know?
Sure.
But, like, I do think it comes from a real place, because all of these incredibly talented wrestlers have worked under this, like, fist of
A tyrant. The
tyrant,
shittiest person.
A guy who, even if he wasn't a terrible person, which he is, he was so out of touch, and the creative that he put through and wanted and had all these writers write to his sensibilities was fucking awful creative.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, he's a historically awful human being.
Yeah.
So him being out of that company, it's got to be such a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
I talked to plenty of people that I used to work with that are still there while we were at WWE World and other stuff, and like the overwhelming sensibility I got was just that, like, holy shit, it is a new era. That's not just a buzzword that they're saying.
Yeah. No, yeah.
There is a freedom, you know.
It's weird. Like, I couldn't quite put my finger on it at first until, like, I forget how we started talking about it last night, but it did feel like the wrestlers themselves felt lighter. Like, they're actually having fun and happy to be there.
Yeah.
Like it's not that there's less pressure, because this is the biggest night in wrestling, two biggest nights in wrestling, especially for the WWE, but like, it just actually felt like they were out there and they were having fun and enjoying it. Like, not that their guard was down, but like, they're leaning into it more.
Yeah, I mean, I bet they feel better about, you know, offering up ideas for fun, silly spots that they never would have done before. Or things where it's like, I love that it seems like these characters these feuds don't all exist in these little, like,
Bubbles.
fish bowls.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, you know, no one else in the universe exists. Like, seeing Sammy and Kevin be
Oh my God.
there for, even though they weren't actively part of those storylines necessarily, for them to be there for their friend and be like, go get him.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh
that
my
is
God.
so cool.
Yeah.
And it makes it feel more like a real, like, oh, this is where all these people work. They've got friends and enemies and stuff. It's not just, now I don't like you. Now I don't like you.
And that's something that I thought was also great about this Mania, is like, the entrances weren't just waiting for the music to hit. They'd be doing the thing that they've been doing on SmackDown and Raw, of like, all right, we're going to show you what's happening right now behind the scenes, and then we're going to follow this as this happens.
Through Gorilla, through the curtain, like that new kind of like sports style presentation they've been trying to push, where it's like showing the weather conditions and things like that.
Yeah.
Show the rating on 2K, and we're going to show them arriving at the arena and put the timestamp on it. Like, that shit's working.
It's working. Like, I feel like that'll also help convince the non-wrestling audiences to actually like get into the product, and like, don't be a Larry David and be incredulous to the fact that it's fake, but understand that it's like, it is a performance sport, right? Like, they're still athletes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Undeniable. But in the past, like a lot of times in the last 10 plus years, I'm trying to get someone into wrestling. It used to be, there would be like a good storyline going on, or a stand-up performer, but then like there'd be 2 or 3 hours of stuff in between that was just downright embarrassing.
Yeah.
So, people would watch like some of these backstage promos that were very Vince-centric and be like, why do you watch this? This is like super stupid. Like these lines and character motivations are so fucking dumb. They're like, Chad Gable was Shorty G not that long ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Otis won Mandy Rose's affection and nothing came out of that.
And all these segments are just so kind of, lack of a better word, cringy and just lame and out of touch.
Almost actively despising the audience.
No, absolutely. And it made it really hard to explain to people why you watch this and why you like it. Well,
because the handful of moments that do get past the shitty parts, for a while they were starting to feel far and few between.
You'd have the Daniel Bryan story.
Kofi Mania.
Yeah, but that all happened in spite of Vince. It was never plan A.
That's true.
The crowd is demanding this.
Yeah.
The crowd made Daniel Bryan happen. The crowd made Kofi Mania happen. But the crowd made We Want Cody happen.
Yeah.
The difference is they weren't stubborn about it this time. They pivoted immediately.
Yeah.
Vince would have fucking, dragged his feet.
I also think the crowd made Roman feel like the big deal and the head of the table that he should have been, instead of being forced down our throats.
Well, a big part of that is most of the Vince, the 2000, the 2010s and beyond.
Yeah.
The crowd was actively shitting on the product, and so they did not want to play ball. They didn't want to just cheer the baby faces and boo the heels, because they hate us. Okay, we're watching Randy Orton versus Sheamus for the 800th time, so we're going to do annoying shit like knock beach balls around and chant same old shit during this match.
Yeah.
Turns out when you're putting on good, good character motivations, good storylines and things like that, the crowd is willing to play ball with you. Everyone thinks Roman Reigns is a tremendous performer, but when he comes out, you're going to boo him because you're into the story and he's the bad guy. The crowd isn't trying to revolt against things or trying to, force creative's hand or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because creative's doing a good job and they're not under Vince's hand.
Randy Orton is a great example because, I could not care less about Randy Orton when he was doing the RK Bro stuff.
Yeah.
I thought, this is beneath Randy. I feel some type of way about Matt Riddle. We don't need to get into that. But, this run with, being frenemies, not even reluctant friends with Kevin Owens, but, just buddies.
Just being, dudes.
Yeah, just dudes being dudes.
Yeah.
And, falling into this kind of, elder statesman, older guy in wrestling.
Yes.
Just, I'm tired of this bullshit.
Yeah, fun dad Randy Orton is a really great turn for this character,
100%. And I feel like it's a good evolution of the character. We could talk about even Judgment Day, going from a fun jokey group, which parts of it were fun, but how they originally started under Edge.
That shit was lame as hell. Even with it had Rhea, it had Damien. It a lot better.
Yeah, a lot better. After Jay and Jimmy, we had
the 6-woman tag.
A 6-woman tag, yes. Okay.
Then Sammy versus Gunther.
Oh my God, match of night one.
Definitely not match of night one. Yeah.
I love getting emotional in wrestling, and we talked about it already. But Sammy's whole build-up of saying to his wife and to his son, don't bring him out there. I don't want him to see, just in case something happens. Then transitioning to Chad Gable. Chad Gable saying, "No, I'm not coming with you. You got this. You can do this." Turns the corner, Kevin Owens.
You got this,
And it's just oh, yes.
After the kind of the Rocky storyline of them, Gable training him after failing to do it himself. And, and Sammy's the guy. It's interesting because this was going to be Brock. And you have to imagine Gunther would have beat Brock.
I hope so.
Brock wasn't going to be the IC champion.
No.
So, who knows how long they wanted the Gunther reign to go?
Yeah.
But I think Sami Zayn, the ultimate underdog, who was kind of robbed of that big moment, that cathartic moment last year at Elimination Chamber in Montreal when he did beat Roman.
Yeah.
This is it's not as big as that, but it's pretty fucking close with how they built Gunther up.
Yeah. Yeah. And the IC title continues to matter.
Yes.
It continues to be a big deal. It doesn't even matter to me how long Sammy's reign will be. Gunther could win it back at Backlash. But this is a solid moment. Yeah. Sami Zayn is just so insane in terms of like his trajectory over the years.
Yeah.
Just like 2 years ago, was that the Knoxville match?
Dallas 2 years ago. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Here was the tag main event
with Owens. Yeah.
All the bloodline stuff happened in the last year.
You know? I know, it's like Sami Zayn is insane. Insane.
Mm-hmm. We did the brain buster.
Oh my God, I was terrified. Mm-hmm. Gunther, absolute monster. Especially playing it up this time, like taunting his wife.
Taunting the wife, it's always a good move, yeah.
Yeah.
It's, Sammy, when he first signed with NXT, I remember thinking, they took El Generico and they're taking his mask off and they gave him this stupid name. And it's like, oh, God damn it, they're going to fuck up another one.
Yeah.
And who would have possibly predicted how much he would connect with audiences, almost on that like Mick Foley type of level.
100%. 100%. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about the match other than like absolutely adoring it. I also love that like Gunther will just normally try and finish a match with a power bomb.
Yeah.
His power bomb specifically, and he went to the top rope in this match.
He does a big splash every once in a while.
Yeah, and that splash, thinking about it, is terrifying.
We saw him backstage at this 2K thing.
Yes.
That dude's big.
Very intimidating, naturally intimidating.
We saw him walk up maybe 10, 15 feet from us, go up and start talking to Jade Cargill. And just like looking at these two human beings standing around, just like, video game people in normal clothes. And like, these are superhumans. This is insane.
Yeah. It was a wild coincidence that was like the 10-year anniversary of them facing each other in Ring of Honor.
Big Van Walter or whatever.
Yeah, like Big Van Walter and El Generico.
Yeah.
And like who knew, like 10 years later, 10 years down the line, second match before the main event of Mania. Yeah. Like I'm just so happy for Sammy.
Him and Owens, honestly, like, they got the main event last year. It's like Kevin Steen and El Generico main event in WrestleMania. Like,
insane, yeah. And then, like, Walter's going to continue to be dominant. It is a scary thought to think about him being unleashed in the main event scene.
He can start looking at other titles that are maybe above. Yeah.
Yeah, like, everyone is on watch.
I mean, Gunther and Cody sounds like a hell of a feud.
Yeah, that's like that is another Rocky story.
Yep, Gunther and Drew, maybe like a Clash of the Castle where Drew's the big baby face.
Yeah.
Well, hang on.
Well,
not Drew.
We'll get to that. Is the order of the next PLEs? It's Backlash, then Clash.
Backlash, then Money in the Bank. I want to say.
Oh, okay.
And then usually they do SummerSlam, then Clash of the Castle.
Well, yeah. Drew will have the title back by then, I'm going to predict.
We're fighting for it, yeah.
Or fighting for it, yeah.
But yeah, I agree. At least the match of night one, Sammy versus Gunther. When we get done with everything, we'll try to figure out, because I actually haven't decided like what my favorite thing on the whole thing is.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Finally, the main event, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Oh, man.
Cool.
This is overbooked goofiness in the best way.
Yeah. Agreed.
Like, it's what this match should have been.
Yeah.
And it went the way people expected as well.
Yeah. I saw a couple people asking, like, how did the crowd feel being there in person? And I think it must have just been a combination of it being, like, very cold, it being a long night, and then kind of the outcome of this being fairly predictable. Because you knew night 2 Bloodline rules as soon as that was on the table. Shenanigans had to ensue. You're 100% right. It was very overbooked.
Well, and don't forget, if you're talking about the crowd being dead, which I saw those comments too about the crowd being dead.
Yeah.
That first night when the windows were closed in the press box, we couldn't really get a great sense of that.
Yeah.
But hearing that, it makes sense because between the entrances and the match, that was an hour.
Yeah.
And if it was kind of a foregone conclusion, didn't have the drama of, is Cody going to finish the story?
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Speaking about entrances, The Rock's entrance.
It's an all-timer, coming through flames with a flaming drama pole.
Oh my God.
Ridiculous shirt, weird
tearaway pants.
Tearaway pants.
Yeah.
And also, in this match, this is the match Rockford. He was good, and he fucking held his own. He was in there for a long time. He wasn't overly gassed. He was taking bumps. He was...
Like, he's totally not operating at the same speed he was when he was, like, frequently wrestling. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And, like, he's put on, like, a lot of, like, muscle since then. Show muscle, of course.
Yes.
But, like, I think that wound up affecting his style in a positive way because he kind of was operating at, like, as the character of the final boss, like really swinging his weight around.
Well, yeah, and it does work for the character because even back in the day, he was a good wrestler.
Yeah.
But he was never the guy. He wasn't, Brett. He wasn't Sean. He wasn't, he wasn't that type of guy. But now, he's where he always excelled, obviously. Facial expressions, mic work, character work, things like that. And especially this new character that he seems to be sinking his teeth into. Things like him telling the ref to stop counting and stuff. Like, I'll take these character moments from him over, I don't need some crazy work rate thing from The Rock.
No,
I don't expect that.
Because it's going to make The Rock look bad.
Yeah, whereas, it'll make him seem big and important if he's just this, kind of powerhouse that goes around and throws his, literal and metaphorical, the power of the boss weight around.
Yeah.
That works for him a lot.
Yeah, he's playing to that heel because, it does... Michael Cole said this a couple times, but it kind of does blur the lines of is this The Rock using his title as board member of TKO to get what he wants? It already felt like a Bloodlines rules match.
Well, it's pretty cool though because you can play with that in the storyline of is he throwing his power around? But obviously the reality is he had the main event with WrestleMania
locked in,
Roman, and he was what he says. He claims that he called Nick Khan up immediately when he saw the crowd reaction, and he's like, "We have to pivot."
Yeah.
And we see obviously how much he's sunk his teeth into being a despicable heel,
yes,
not being too worried about his brand or his image or anything.
No,
he's been an awful fucking person.
Yes.
And so good on him.
It got a lot of people excited to see The Rock. They were booing The Rock, and then now actively the whole crowd is behind him as a heel.
And the stuff that actually does blur the lines with him that I love is when he's saying stuff like, The Rock made pro wrestling cool again. People are watching. Him taking credit for, it has been a very steady upward climb. And, it's definitely not just because of The Rock. But he does have enough of a history of having an ego and stuff that you do wonder, does he actually think it's cool because he's back? Or is he leaning into it? Is this a conscious thing?
I think there's, with him, there's truth in that. 100% there's truth in that. And then also, I feel like everyone was firing off on all cylinders for the whole duration of the match. Apparently, the second longest main event in WrestleMania history.
Behind the Iron Man.
Behind the Iron Man.
Yeah.
Roman was a completely different character on night one.
Yep.
Just really felt not subservient, but coming in second to The Rock. Seth working his ass off as always.
Yes.
We saw the stereo pedigree spot. Cody rock bottoming The Rock through one of the announce tables. Like you said, The Rock throwing his weight around, threatening the ref that I will fire you if you keep counting.
The great shot that mimicked last year's shot where Cody's sitting down, bondage with the behind him. They're telling stories.
They're telling stories. God, there was probably a couple other spots from that match that I'm forgetting.
It was long.
It was very long.
A lot of walking through the crowd, slapping, spitting, trash cans and stuff.
But there's so much room that to set stuff up, and they did set stuff up for night two. They're continuing to set stuff up for the future. It's good. It's good.
And keeping with the theme of two separate nights of WrestleMania, we made the decision, we intended on this decision, it's going to be a two-parter podcast that we're doing here.
Yeah.
This is night one. This is night one of our recap podcast.
Yeah. This will come out as one night for the folks at home.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. You won't see it, or you will see it, but we'll edit it where it's one night.
We're tired.
We're very tired.
It is late. We had an Uber situation that you heard about. We have more Taco Bell to eat.
Yeah.
Call it here, and then we'll get back to night two very soon.
Yeah, we'll pick it up.
Yeah, different location.
Different location.
All right. Thanks, folks.
Daniel Reichert.
Jonathan.
We are back with night two results. It's still one night for anyone listening and watching, but it is...
Are we back mentally, physically?
No.
Has that come back to us yet?
I think I was in a better place last night than I am now.
We had Taco Bell and Prime. We got some Prime, which unfortunately I regret to inform the folks that Prime's pretty good. the freeze pop one, the cherry, it's really good.
Yeah, I was drinking it and I was upset, but but I felt hydrated at least.
Yeah.
And then marketing worked on me.
It directly worked, and now I want to keep buying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in a different location. I'm not sure how we wound up here, but it's like someone set up a skate ramp behind us.
Or someone got put through a table, man.
Yeah, failed table spot over there.
I'm looking at the Rocky Steps. We're up on the rooftop ballroom of a hotel right now, and no one's in here, so I figured we'd just walk in and record.
Yeah, and if someone stops us, then we'll relocate.
Yeah. Well, we do. I hate to tell you, Jan, we also have a 3-hour wrestling program we have to go to tonight.
Yeah. Before we started recording again, I told Dan I looked into changing my flight to if not tonight, maybe like a red eye.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, and I told Jan that this is too much wrestling, even for me.
Yeah.
And if I'm saying that, holy shit.
And again, we've only seen WWE stuff.
I know there are others that have done way crazier. And we were just talking in the elevator about look at Cody. Look at basically anyone on the roster, but Cody specifically. He was doing so much fucking press leading up to this.
Yeah.
And then he wrestles 2 main events, 2 very long main events.
Yeah.
He works.
Yeah.
Now, I believe he just flew to New York for the Today Show this morning. He's flying back for Raw tonight. Non-stop media. Now he's the champ. Like that treadmill doesn't stop. You know, that media stuff and everything. So it just takes a different type of dude, doesn't it?
Completely different type of dude. And then we started talking about even someone like Michael Cole is probably feeling like Garbo because he is talking straight for 2 nights, and not just for Mania. He was doing the Pat McAfee show.
Yep.
He was even doing the WrestleMania pre-show yesterday.
Yeah. And also, he's getting up. He has to put on a suit every day. He has to be super camera ready. Non-stop talking. I mean, motherfucker's been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah. And now the leash is off.
Yeah.
Cole can pretty much say what he wants to say for the most part. I'm assuming.
Well, I mean, within a reason.
Yeah.
He's got a manifesto. He's going to read it on Raw. It's wild. It is, wrestlers and the people that travel with the company and everything are a different breed, and I don't know physically how they do it. And to think too that this is actually a lighter schedule than back in the day when it was the crazy touring, bunch of house shows, twice on Saturday, twice on Sundays, that whole thing.
God.
This industry, you can understand why it just chews people up.
Yeah.
We were just a couple schmucks, just going and sitting in a press box for a couple days, and we're just dead.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, biggest heel of WrestleMania weekend was that Lyft driver last night.
Oh my! Okay, we went into it last night. Ooh, I won't say his name. I won't say his name. But that guy, Jesus.
Dan, are you ready to talk about night 2 of WrestleMania?
Always.
Okay. We started the show with a barn burner. We had the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth frickin' Rollins losing against the Drew champion, Drew McIntyre.
Yes, this was a hot start to the night. What the fuck was Seth's entrance? Is that, did we ever figure out, was that a thing? Was that?
Yeah, I meant to look it up. It felt, I told you then and there when it was happening, this feels like a very Mike Minotti entrance.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think it was, it's not a negative. I just had no idea what the hell I was looking at.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about it. I don't know if it's tied to a culture that I am just not familiar with, or
vaguely New Orleans,
yeah. And there was some stuff that looks like a skull, that might be a bird, maybe.
Yeah, I said it was vaguely Mardi Gras, New Orleans, and you were like, "Where's Seth Rollins from?" I was like, "Davenport, Iowa." Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with Iowan.
It's not that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I've spent some time in Iowa. It ain't that.
Yeah. But man, what a match for both.
Great match.
Seth completely selling being absolutely obliterated from the night before.
Yeah, Seth had quite a, despite kind of getting his ass kicked and losing nonstop for the weekend, he really had a very important role in all of this. And some great moments. He did lose to Drew when he left, and you saw that moment of emotion where he was kind of crying. He's like, "You fucking deserve it, man." That was, there were a couple, I talk about how wrestling's one of the things that'll kind of get me to tear up a little bit, and there were a couple times where I was like, "Oh man, I felt it,"
Yeah. I can't specifically remember any like major spots other than
Drew
like
tweeting.
Oh yes, Drew tweeting in the middle of it. Bored at work, lol.
Yeah.
All time like heelish, shitty, great move.
Didn't he quote tweet himself afterwards? And he was like, "Fuck."
Yeah, he did. His family apparently afterwards like all took a picture together, like flipping off the Lincoln.
I saw that. Yeah, his
field.
brother being like, "Yeah, we left early." Yeah, man, everyone, all three people there. Yeah, because so Seth loses. Drew's the champ. Big feel good moment. Oh man, Drew's gonna be such a baby face, and then Punk attacks him after Drew. To be fair, Drew was really antagonizing him. He's like, I'm just going to stand on the table and shove my crotch in your face and just trash talk you.
At first, he crawls like a cat over the announce table, and I'm like, Drew, where are you taking this now?
Yes.
And then, Punk attacks Drew, and then we have Senior Money in the Bank. Cash in.
Monster slam. Like Drew is a big dude, and Damian got him up there.
Yeah.
Well, Drew jumped too, but yeah, goddamn.
I caught the replay of Damian beaming Drew with the briefcase, and just flying in the air.
It was crazy looking.
Yeah.
It was like 20 feet in the air. It was nuts.
That was another example of an amazing ring announcer call from Samantha Irvin last night.
Oh.
Of just her being like, Damian Priest is cashing in his money in the bank.
Oh, gosh.
It was so good. And then that was the fastest I've ever seen a referee understand what he needs to do in cashing in a Money in a Bank.
Oh, immediately just like, it's cashing in, ding, 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 go. And then, done. I think everyone looked good coming out of that.
Everyone looked amazing.
Seth wrestled a really competitive match. Like, he lost, but just... It felt good, Seth didn't seem like pissed. He was just like, oh man, yeah, okay, you got me and you deserve it,
Yeah, and like we were saying this yesterday, but like I hope this leads to some time off for Seth and Becky because like
100%
deserve the time off. I know that like Seth felt like he rushed becoming healthy so he wouldn't miss Mania.
He's one of those guys I worry about in like 10 years how he's going to be walking around.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Matt Hardy walk or what.
Oh,
but
boy.
I just love that like there was already so much heat behind Drew and Punk.
Yeah.
Like Drew fucking hated that dude before. And now, it fits so well into that Drew. Like, he had his big moment again, and it got fucking stolen from him. He's been waiting all this time to win the title in front of a crowd, and it got stolen from him. He's going to be bitter. But I think he's going to have some, like, righteous babyface fury this time.
Yeah.
And then Punk just being such a shithead about it. Like, that's going to be a hot feud once Punk's ready.
Punk's face when Damian's music is playing is like, ah.
That whip around, and that smile, is like, ooh, yeah, okay, cool.
The camera work in that segment, just so impressive.
The production overall is just on a different level now. Good riddance done. Good riddance, Vince.
Yeah.
And we can finally make some modern programming now.
I was saying this yesterday when it was happening, but like Drew McIntyre is going to kill everyone in the Judgment Day.
Good. I want to see Drew versus Dominic.
Drew is going to like Claymore JD McDonough into like the Attitude Era.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Like we're both exhausted, and the prospect of 3 hours of wrestling tonight is a lot. But like, that might start tonight, and like, let's say Judgment Day's going out being shitty, celebration stuff, man. And then Drew comes out and just murders everyone. Like that would be fun. I don't know if I could physically cheer tonight, but yeah.
I'll maybe politely clap and like smile fondly.
I got a nod in me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't burn it too soon.
No, I'm saving it.
Yeah. But Damian Priest is now the, I think, second Puerto Rican WWE champion.
Wait, let me think. Savio never won it. Mm-mm. You're talking like a world level belt, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Bad Bunny never won anything. Savio never won anything.
It's a name that you know.
Yeah. How recent are we talking?
Oh, a long time ago.
It's I don't know who.
Pedro Morales.
Oh, I was about to say it, but I didn't want to sound stupid in case I was wrong. Look, I can't afford to look stupid on the internet, Jay.
No, especially not with like something as wrestling.
Yes, exactly.
Important as wrestling.
It was on the tip of my tongue. Dang.
Yeah. I don't know. Also, the second ever cash-in at Mania, right?
Yes. Yes, Seth and Damian now. Yeah.
Insane. And yeah, that choke slam he gave to Drew, amazing.
And good on Damian. He's transformed himself physically since he joined WWE. He's become such a reliable, like the fact that they put him in there with Bad Bunny, twice now.
Yeah.
Like they trust this guy. He's safe. His mic skills have gotten pretty solid.
Has he won the U.S. title before?
I bet at some point, like during the pandemic or something, there was just a whole like kind of phantom zone of pandemic stuff. Where I don't even remember what the fuck was happening for most of that.
Because he might also be a Triple Crown winner.
Definitely a tag.
Yeah, because he got the tag, Money in the Bank, World Heavyweight title now.
Triple Crown and Grand Slam is such a nebulous thing now that there's so many belts and everything.
Yeah.
It used to be just like, oh, Grand Slams, you had these 4 belts. And now it's like, oh, okay, well, now this one or this one, plus 1 or 2 of these. And
But yeah, I'm super happy for Priest. Moving on, we have the Philadelphia Street Fight, Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits against the Final Testament.
You know, this, I didn't really think about this going in because I kind of think the Final Testament are just dorks.
Yeah.
And I love Bobby and the Profits, but, you know, I wasn't looking forward to this one necessarily. It was fun. It took the place of that kind of like multi-ladder match clusterfuck. Like, let's just get a bunch of people in the ring, a bunch of weapons and stuff, and just have fun here. Uh-oh. Are we going to get kicked out? Here we go.
Wait.
We got people coming up here. Okay, yep. This is people are... Hang on. It's,
So yes, the Philly Street Fight.
Yes.
Not looking forward to this match at all. But it wound up being completely okay. Bubba Ray Dudley got brought out as a special referee.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't have Devon. We saw him in this hotel not too long ago. It was clearly just another, hey, we're in Philly, remember ECW type thing. But it was fun. You know, was it Cross that had the ECW shirt? Or?
Yes, Cross had the ECW shirt.
A lot of kendo stick spots, a table collapsing.
A table collapsing, and then Montez beating the ever-living hell out of Karrion Kross with a kendo stick.
Yes.
I'm going to say it's his fault for messing up the table spot, because he broke it with his body.
Oh, Karrion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did the Dudley Boys, like, wise up spot.
That's fun, yes.
And then, like, a gigantic frog splash.
Yeah, I always like the idea of, like, you know, even if it's not the hottest match on the card or one, you know, even if it's just one that's just kind of thrown out of the card, when people realize, like, you know what, fuck it, it's still WrestleMania. You know, this is still going to be watched forever. You know, like, I felt that with the ladder match night 1, where, like, Ciampa's doing the air raid crash off the ladder and all. It's like, you know what, just go for it. It's WrestleMania.
Yeah, let's go all in. There was a spot where Montez jumped over the ring post to tackle AOP.
And then the replay, you saw him propel himself further off of the post.
Insane.
Like, Jesus. Yeah, that was very talented dude.
In their entrance, Montez was just like licking his lips for an extended like half a minute. And it was just like, okay, calm down, man.
He's really fun to watch because it's just like, man, that guy has an energy to him, and he's like weird too.
Yeah.
Like I like him a lot. Yeah.
BFAB and Scarlett got some spots too.
Yeah. Was it like a Russian leg sweep off the apron or something through a table?
Yeah, and Snoop Dogg was doing commentary, and we didn't catch all of it. But
the stuff we did catch, it was like, just keep putting him on commentary. Yeah,
he's having fun.
Yes.
Good for Bobby to finally be on the Mania card.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for him because he's kind of got it all, and it's just been a stacked few years in terms of the roster, and they, you know, I don't know. There's other characters that they're pushing harder, and you know, he's just very good.
Yeah. I feel if Seth takes some extended time off, Roman, I assume, is also going to take some extended time off.
You would think so.
Like, you can easily slot someone like Bobby back into the main event scene. No problemo. Next match was LA Knight against AJ Styles. LA Knight prevailing there. I think that was the right choice.
Yeah. I mean, you know, AJ doesn't need a win by any means.
No.
It was fine. This was probably, unless there's something I'm forgetting, probably the weakest match of... And it wasn't a bad match by any means. It was just like, I didn't really... I'm not as hot on LA Knight as even during, like, when it was a little hotter, like during, like, the Reigns match, you know?
Sure.
Like, I don't know. He's a good talker, for sure.
He's a very good promo. I don't remember much of his ring work.
I remember when he does that jump onto the top. When he does that suplex and he does that, like, jump up. Like, that's fun. But, yeah.
There was a big heel during this match, though, Dan.
During LA Knight versus AJ Styles?
Yes. The crowd in several portions of the arena apparently revolting.
The light.
Yes. Apparently, AJ Styles, yet again, his match was obscured by giant blinding lights.
Was it AJ that was fighting Orton at 35? And because I remember that crowd chanting a lot too. Like I've never been in that section, but like I can only imagine how, especially like, let's say you're somebody you've never been to a Mania, you've been saving up to bring your family there or whatever, and then like there's just a light right in your fucking face. And,
and I mean, like, you know, even any type of bright light beaming in your face could like just give you a massive headache, just ruin the whole night.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I feel for the people there. Thankfully, it wasn't for like the whole night or anything like that. But
it would go away, and then the light would eventually like shine away, like in between scenes and matches and stuff, and then people would cheer. They were getting very creative with the anti-light chants.
We had the Seven Nation. Oh, please turn the light off. Yeah, all of that.
Fuck this light.
Yep. Yeah. What was I going to say? LA Knight, I like that he is the official wrestler of Slim Jim now.
Yes. Apparently a middle-aged woman won the Slim Jim card.
Yep, that was fun.
So good for her.
The guy during the Long Boys cam that was just going to town on that fistful of Long Boys was really funny.
Yes, yeah. And then the poor pivot of like the cameraman not being able to turn around away, had to pivot back down the line.
We're going to pass back over him. Oh no, he's still going.
Yeah. Grub tweeted a video of Mike Minotti trying out a long boy.
Yeah, we tried to watch it in the press box, but couldn't quite hear it. But I was struck by why is one hand like firmly in his pocket as he's like really just kind of mulling over this long boy Slim Jim.
And I'm like, Mike, it's just a regular Slim Jim.
Well, he likes meat. Like, it's not, Slim Jim isn't fruit.
Yeah.
I wonder why he'd be hesitant. It's good. Slim Jims are good.
Greasy for sure.
But yeah, they're good.
Yeah. Next, we had the triple threat for the United States Championship. Logan Paul defeating Randy Orton and Kevin Owens to retain the title.
Another chapter in the ongoing story of, God damn it, why is Logan Paul so good at this?
Yeah, his face, his physicality, athleticism in it.
Yeah,
good.
And also the right opponents, because like, you know, with like Randy and KO being kind of like the everyman type character, and then him just being this cocky YouTube asshole, you know. Yeah, and you know, all this stuff with Prime and everything that was funny with iShow Speed, which you had not heard of, right?
No, I've not heard of him.
I don't know why I see him popping up and stuff. But
you're a big NASCAR fan, and
big
F1.
NASCAR and soccer guy, and
love F1.
Mostly YouTubers. You know, I'm passionate about YouTubers.
Yeah.
Randy just kicking him in the fucking chest, sending him sliding back, and then the cap flies off is so fucking funny to me.
It was a very good spot. I love Randy's and Kevin's friendship, their buddy thing going like, are we doing this now? We got to do this.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like they're just the two guys that have like understood how wrestling works. It's like, I guess we got to fight each other now. And then like, you know, Randy goes for the RKO on him. He's like, oh yep, you're doing that, Randy. You slithery snake guy. This is your thing. You rascal.
Yeah, and then like I didn't get the vibe at all that like they hated each other afterwards.
No, it's like we're in a match for the title. Like when they both went for the pin or whatever. It's like only one of us gets to win this. You know, like it's great. The golf cart entrance thing, very funny.
The golf cart was very good.
Yeah, just Kevin Owens telling a truck to suck it is funny. KO and Randy are great together.
Yeah. I forget when we said this or when I said this, but like I didn't quite care for Randy and RK Bro, but like Randy and KO, it just works on like a very good level. Yeah,
because those two guys, I mean, like every man probably isn't the word, because look at Randy Orton. But like they just seem like dudes that are just kind of like we are adults and we understand what wrestling is, and
like,
you know,
they seem like two dudes that are like, we'll hang back while we take the kids to the zoo, but we're also going to enjoy being at the zoo.
We'll hang back and have a beer, and it's just I love them. They're great.
Up next, we have the WWE Women's Championship match, Bayley defeating Io Sky to win the title.
You know, maybe it's because I don't watch SmackDown as much on Friday nights, but I wasn't as invested in the story going in, like the whole dissolution of Damage Control or kicking Bayley out or whatever. But boy, this match, it won me over, and it seemed like the whole crowd was into it too.
Oh, the whole crowd the whole time was very, very hot for Bayley.
Yeah.
And man, they were doing the selling very well, because you and I both thought Bayley hurt herself immediately at the start of the match
when she dove out, and she was kind of like gentle. She really did it subtly, the limping thing. And then I think I told you that like wrestling is so weird in that okay, if someone looks like they injured their knee, we feel better about it if someone keeps attacking that knee because it's like, oh, okay, it's a work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
You're working here. All right.
Yep.
That's good.
And good for both. Like Bailey, what a
She deserves it.
Consistent workhorse, just been a star, since the NXT days, and like that character has evolved, and now she can be a babyface again without having to just revert back to like, hey, remember the balloon buddies and the ponytail? It's cool. It's been a cool arc for her for sure.
Also, for folks that like may not have seen a lot of Io Sky performing, this definitely showed off her capabilities. I don't think she looked weak because she's like
awesome.
He was pretty even throughout the whole thing.
The part where Bailey went for the rose plant and Io just kind of whoop, flipped out of it.
Yeah,
like awesome.
I also appreciate that there were no shenanigans.
Yeah, just straight up wrestling match. I mean, same with the Becky Rhea match. Like,
yeah.
I mean, there were shenanigans on this WrestleMania card, but they picked their spots and it made sense. Like, I mean, even like I Show Speed during the Logan Paul thing, like that made perfect sense. Yeah. As soon as you see that fucking Prime bottle walking down, it's like, who is that?
Something's gonna happen here.
Yeah.
And then we get to the main event for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Cody Rhodes finishing the story in defeating Roman Reigns.
Yeah. Oh. We knew this was going to be a long night once it started. It's like, we got a lot of time left here, and last night was very long, but it didn't feel super long. I didn't wind up catching how long that final match wound up being. I would guess 40 minutes, I'd guess, you know. But a lot of bells and whistles, a lot of things going on. But we did have, like, a lot of just normal wrestling, good main event wrestling before all the shenanigans,
Yeah, like, the whole night, I think there was, like, a tense feeling amongst everyone in the audience of, like, genuinely don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, Cody should maybe win, but then a lot of the people we talked to when we were going around the tailgate, were saying like, no, I think Roman's going to walk away with it.
I thought there was a chance. There was a chance Roman would win, and it was the right amount of chance. Sometimes when things are too obvious, they can just be boring. There was just enough of like, oh God, are they going to keep this going?
And like you saw me during the early parts of that match, I was just popping for Roman because of how cool he is.
That's the thing, is like the Roman style of the big main event match where he's just really cocky and smiling and like whipping the belts around. Yeah. Just being, like when he did the Crossroads, and like, that move sucks. That move's not going to beat anyone. Like that, he's so fucking good.
Yeah, like him, like his taped finger just going like that or whatever. Just his mannerisms, like, man, that guy's a champ.
That dude, it's to see how far he's come. I mean, I've gone back and I've watched, segments from 2015, 2016 when they were first starting to like babyface mega push, and it's a different dude.
It is a completely different dude.
In every way, he looks different. His mannerisms are different. The confidence isn't as there. Yeah. But you kind of had to have all of that to get to this tribal chief character, and it's goddamn, what a success story.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I think now a lot of people are gonna finally give Roman his flowers for like really elevating the importance of that title, and like, I know a lot of people feel like he buried a lot of people along the way, but he made the Usos matter individually.
Yeah. I mean, he really did. Where he's like, main event Jey Uso isn't just a nickname. Like he main evented SummerSlam. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of those stories paid off. There's some you could argue, like, LA Knight didn't really like factor in too much.
But then like with you take a story like Sammy, right? Like
Sammy
that dominated all of last year.
Sammy was elevated for sure.
Almost changed the course of Mania last year, even.
Yeah. I think a lot of people were extremely elevated, but obviously everyone in the bloodline was super elevated, and then like everything kind of came back around with a lot of these cameos. Cena made sense. Some of the cameos made sense.
Yeah, some of the cameos make sense. So, in order of shenanigans, I think Jimmy interferes. Yes. Then main event Jay. They spear each other off the stage
into some phantom zone. From our perspective, it was like just into the darkness. Yeah. It was crazy.
Solo comes in. They do the Samoan spike spear, which I think is a fantastic tag team.
It's really cool.
John Cena comes out.
Because Solo killed Cena.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Cena kills Solo.
Yep.
Rock comes out. They have their they reenact the stare down, which I thought was a good spot.
That was great.
And then Cena immediately gets rock bottom.
Oh yeah, Cena just ate shit. Yeah.
We couldn't tell from where we were sitting because of the press box, but like I was watching the shenanigans in those final moments. Cena has a very prominent monkey butt.
Oh my God, absolutely.
And it's like Cena, just shave the head. Just do it.
Yeah, I mean, or he could just like kind of go like Triple H kind of does to like shave down to like probably like where my hair is right now.
Yeah,
where it's like
it
looks like there's something. It's not just bare skin, you know.
Yeah. Maybe he just needs a high schooler to yell at him.
That'll do it. That'll somebody just lean out of an SUV. Just John Cena, shave your fucking head.
Well, he's gonna be at Worlds later today. We can just
bring some clippers, and we're like, hey, it's okay, man, it's fine.
It's okay, John. Come on. And then, just as The Rock is about to, he takes off his weight belt, about to smack Cody and/or John Cena. Was it
the gong?
It was the gong, or was it the Shield thing?
Oh, it was the Shield thing. The Shield was when it was Roman and Cody in the ring. That might have been earlier.
Well, because Roman takes out Seth with a Superman punch before he can use a chair against The Rock.
Right, so Seth came out to... because when the Shield music was going on, Rock was looking around the crowd like, come on.
Yeah.
So Seth comes out with the chair. We get the big kind of, 10 years in the making story of like Roman's still not over the Shield stuff.
Yeah. And then the gong happens, and then I think the Shield chair spot happens all over again.
Yes.
And then it's just like, I love how Seth sold it exactly how Roman sold it.
Yes.
And then I remember thinking at the time, like, why did Seth just change his clothes? And then, like, he kind of fulfills, like, that 10 years in the making thing.
Well, he wanted to get in Roman's head about it. I mean, he did that at the Rumble 2022 when he came out to that entrance with that gear. And what made Roman snap was Seth tried to get him. He was, like, laughing. He was down on the ground. He tried to get him to the Shield bump. And Roman just flipped out and choked him until he got DQ'd.
Yeah.
And so, like, Seth knows that's, like, an Achilles heel for Roman.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, remember the Shield, you know?
And I love that bit of storytelling where Roman is still not over it.
No.
Yeah.
It, like, broke him. And, like, Seth has even said in promos, like, I'm partly to blame for the Roman you see today because I just broke him, you know, all that time ago.
And it fulfills that line that he had said to Cody of, I will be your shield.
Yeah. It's like, look, like Twitter and stuff loves to read too much into wrestling storylines. Like, The Rock put the finger out with the L, and it's like, or the bloodline. It's like, no, trust me, no one's writing to that level of detail.
Yeah.
But this specific thing, like with Seth and Roman, the Shield history and stuff, like, wow, that actually is some like nice, like, I doubt it was planned from the beginning, but they utilized it well. Yeah,
they definitely took like whatever miscellaneous story beats that they had laying around and like worked that here. And we were talking about this last night in the box, but like I don't know when's the next time they're going to be able to like culminate so many stories.
I mean, you can't. This was such a long-term thing that like we are going to be older men by the time something like this is even possible again.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Dib is going to be tearing up NXT.
Oh, he's going to already have failed out of high school. Shit.
Purposely, because he's going to take back Lars' money and like enter into wrestling school.
Yeah, man. He's gonna be chewing tobacco a lot, I bet. He seems like that type.
Yeah. He's gonna convince Uncle Minotti to be his manager.
Yeah. He's gonna be like stealing from Baclar.
Yeah.
He's gonna wreck cars and stuff.
We're gonna see him with a table at WrestleCon.
Oh yeah, but it's gonna be like sad.
Yeah.
No one's gonna be there.
Yeah. So, but like he'll have that match.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great, Dib.
And then Cody hits 3 crossroads.
Well, let's... Earlier, I touched on all of the things made sense and all the storylines and stuff.
Oh.
Undertaker.
Out of left field.
Look, I get it. You want a bunch of...
Sure.
Look, that definitely read to me as the Austin spot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where it was Rock standing in the ring. That would have been the time to have the glass shatter. But, Austin's hanging out with cats on a ranch. Good for him.
Hey, I will take Taker, no matter how I feel about the person.
Mark Calloway, yeah.
Mark Calloway, over Hogan.
Oh, yes.
Like,
yes, I will.
Oh my God.
I'll give you that. I will give you that. Yes. Definitely.
Oh God.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the whole time, like Rock just like completely selling the whole thing.
I watched that clip again this morning, and it's a little weird because like Undertaker and Rock, they fought each other a handful of times, but it was never like, oh, classic rivalry, you know?
Yeah.
But I love that he just gives him a little choke slam, lights go out, and what happened to The Rock?
Yeah.
Where did he go?
Yeah, where did
he
he
disappeared. Yeah. You like transferred the teleportation powers via choke slam.
He learned instant transmission.
Yeah. Did you see the clip too of afterwards Undertaker like running back? Yeah. It's
I
great.
didn't realize that Undertaker was wearing like a pair of sweats and like what looked like Hoka sneakers.
Yeah, I feel like the reason he didn't do the whole gimmick is because like he had to come through the crowd.
Sure.
So it would have been very distracting if the dead man was just running through the crowd.
Yeah.
You know?
And I guess like he could be mad at like Roman for beating him at Mania.
Sure.
So there's that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So match ends with 3 crossroads and 1, 2, 3. Another emotional call from Samantha Irvin.
God.
Just welling with emotion. I suggest everyone check out that clip on social media.
Incredible. It's so good.
It really adds to the product, I think.
It does. And Corey acknowledged it too. He's like, oh, Samantha Irvin, understandably emotional,
Yeah. And then we couldn't hear it at the time because like it was just so loud in the arena at that point. But like Cole just saying, I love professional wrestling.
Yes. They were saying professional wrestling a lot. Just, I almost wonder if, we're phasing out sports entertainment at this point.
I'd be okay with that. It's sports and entertainment,
Yeah, it has been very cool to see how quickly everyone has been fine with like, hey, fuck Vince. You know, like everyone knows that none of this exists without him. Yeah, you can't take that away, no matter how terrible of a person he is. But like, everyone is so ready to move on.
Yeah. It was very telling. Oh, did we mention that Stephanie McMahon opened the show?
I can't remember what the fuck we talked about last night, and we weren't even like drinking or anything. No. We were just tired.
Yeah.
I guess we were actively drinking a beer, but yes. Yeah.
I think we did mention that she did come out, but like just that.
It's extremely telling because look at the way it went down. Vince comes back, she immediately resigns, and then I can't imagine what that's like. But Hunter's still there and Vince there. That's got to be an awkward thing. And now it's just like, okay, Hunter and Steph can just like maybe she comes back.
Yeah, maybe she comes back in some type of capacity. I'm sure like the wrestlers already feel some type of way with Vince being gone, but I imagine some of the behind the scenes stuff like writers, production people, other levels within that company feel a lot better now.
Oh, I know for a fact from people I've talked to that people are feeling a lot better. Yeah. And I didn't see the press conference. We were in our Uber nightmare situation. But I did hear there was some interesting language Triple H was saying about like, oh yeah, Stephanie being back and being backstage, like, she's like, I forget the specific wording, but it was something like, oh, okay, she actually feels like, it's comfortable, like this is a different, because
cool.
like, she obviously resigned because there were some issues there, and she was like, fuck, he's back, and like now with him gone, she feels comfortable being back.
Yeah.
So I would love to see her back in an official capacity at WWE. She's, she was very well liked there.
Yeah. I, obviously pushed for the women very hard, but like also I think for the casual fan also, it had that for whatever reason may miss a McMahon there. Like this is the okay one to have.
If you gotta have someone with the name McMahon in that company, she's the right one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We don't need Sweaty Shane.
No. That guy's nuts.
Yeah. But that was night 1, night 2 of Mania, Dan, and we still have a 3-hour Raw to go to later.
Oh my God.
But on top of the actual wrestling, we witness a lot of other things.
Oh yeah,
in wrestling,
in this hotel, elsewhere.
Yeah.
I wrote a few highlights here.
Yes.
One for me was I was downstairs in this hotel. I went to go pee, as I'm wont to do.
Oh, this one. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We had numerous.
Yes.
Oh God.
Yes.
Staying at the WrestleCon hotel always leads to some like this is weird moments. I'm in the bathroom and I pee and I'm going to wash my hands and there's only 2 sinks. One of them is a guy in an Adam Cole shirt. The other one is the Honky Tonk Man. And Honky Tonk Man's looking over at this guy, and it was like the middle of the afternoon. Yeah. And Honky's like, "Oh, who's that little guy on your shirt?" And the guy's like, "It's Adam Cole." And then the Adam Cole guy leaves, and Honky starts saying like, "Man, I tried talking to that guy a couple times. He doesn't even look at me. He doesn't even say nothing." And he turns around and looks at me, and I'm like, who are you? And he goes, the guy in the shirt, Adam Cole. And it's like, oh yeah, you don't get along with him? I'm just me and the honky tonk man in the bathroom talking about Adam Cole, a guy I know. Which I did. I almost texted Adam Cole. Do you know you have heat with the honky tonk man?
I can't wait to read about this on the sheet.
I hope so. Yes. So Honky, Honky looks at me and is like, nah, I tried to talk to that guy a couple times. He didn't want to talk to me. Fuck him. And then Honky Tonk just walks out of the bathroom after saying, fuck Adam Cole.
Oh my God.
Adam Cole's got heat with the Honky Tonk man. I didn't just want to text Adam and be like, hey, Honky Tonk man hates you.
Yeah.
In case he hears this. Sorry, brother, you got heat with Honky.
It happens, man. It happens. Like,
Jesus.
a lot of important conversations happen in a bathroom.
Oh, God.
Speaking about WrestleCon, God, seeing Godfather double up one day.
What a worker.
One day to do signings and photos as the Godfather.
Pimp hats, whole gimmick.
Yep. The next day at WrestleCon, we see him as Papa Shango.
Yep, full makeup and everything. That guy is packing checked bags with every gimmick. We didn't see. There were several days of WrestleCon. There might have been a comment with Mustafa Day.
Yeah, he also could have been the Good Father.
Oh, God, yeah, what a worker. Just, Also, that's a big dude. He's one of those dudes that was never,
huge.
booked as a big man necessarily.
Yeah.
Like, in the traditional sense, but, that's a big fucking dude.
Yeah.
We also, right near Godfather, it was the Doink and Dink booth, which I don't know who the fuck Doink is. Doink is dead.
Yep.
But there's a guy calling himself Doink and putting on clown makeup.
Uh-huh.
But then there's another one. Again, Honky Tonk Man comes up a lot during these WrestleCon trips. But I don't know why it just tickled me so much. Seeing just like a casual conversation between Dink, but he had a hoodie on, so it was Dink with the wig and makeup, just with like a casual hoodie on, just chatting with Honky Tonk Man. I'm just looking at these guys, these crazy looking dudes, just like they're having a casual. And then what was it like? Was it Maria Kanellis right there?
Yep.
Like there was this like,
Oh yeah, Maria Kanellis is right there. Miro has a table right next to them, like on the other side.
Well, yeah.
And across from them are like the ECW originals.
Yeah, it's Sabu skipping his. I think that was in this room. Was the Indie Hall of Fame that Sabu skipped?
Oh,
I think that was probably what happened in this room. But yeah, like the fact that like in this crowded room full of people, these crazy looking dudes can just be having a conversation and no one bats an eye. And I just was standing there just stun locked, just like, this is weird, right? Like, wrestling's weird, right?
Yeah.
Like Hoodie Dink and Honky Tonk.
It's so interesting, like walking around WrestleCon, because you continue to see like baffling things.
Oh yeah.
Like every time we made a lap through, like I remember we saw Sandman and both remarked like, "Oh, Sandman looks good for Sandman," and then he immediately pulls up his shirt to wipe his nose.
Yeah, like full up, just bare shirt, just wiping his face with his Or like I remember last year walking around seeing Ryback having a conversation with Sonny Ono, and I think like, what are they talking about? These guys in no way overlapped. Like, what do they have to? How do they know each other?
Yeah, and then like. We know that wrestlers are big boys, big ladies and stuff, but just seeing like the mass of people.
Hobbs
Hobbs
is a big boy.
A bus.
Every lift we ordered and waited for, we were waiting next to Wardlow. We timed all of our lifts with Wardlow, apparently.
Yeah,
that's a big dude.
I think he was being the creepy one, honestly.
I think he was a giant. He's a giant bomb.
Yeah.
He seems like a giant bomb guy. Yeah.
And then like. We had gotten to like the main part of WrestleCon, and like I'm looking around, and right behind us is Brian Cage casually taking a phone call.
Oh yeah. It's just a dude looking like that.
Yeah.
Just like on the phone. Well, we both had new best friends coming out of this. You, Jan, legit as a new friendship with legendary pro wrestling journalist Bill Apter.
Yes. So rewinding. During media day at WWE, we were in the media booth for interviews. Very convoluted setup.
Yeah,
we'll
eventually.
Maybe we'll get into that somewhere else.
Yeah.
Maybe in the video. And then in front of us is, as you said, legendary wrestling journalist Bill Apter.
Been around since 1970. Worked with Andy Kaufman and everybody who's ever been anyone.
Yeah. And he's holding like. A handy cam from 2010.
Yeah, maybe. It's something I bought in Best Buy in college. I bought this to shoot sketches with. Yeah.
And I'm looking at him, I'm like, he doesn't have a tripod. And then I'm looking around like, he doesn't have anyone with him right now. No. Who's going to hold this camera? And then, we had already set up because we had limited time with the talent. And I had a light stand, and I'm like, Bill Apter, do you need this extra tripod? And he's just like, awestruck and so thankful.
Yeah.
And set it up for him, and then some other media outlet knocks it over.
Yeah.
I think they didn't want Bill to have a good interview.
I know. You were looking out for your buddy.
I was looking out for my buddy. And then, I helped Bill out. I hold the cam up for him. Wind up being his cameraman instead. And then we exchanged pleasantries. We're on our way. And then we come back here to WrestleCon. We run into Bill Apters. He looks at me and goes, "Oh, Tripod. I've been talking about you all day, Tripod."
It's Bill Apter with his son.
His grown son.
He's like, oh, son Apter. Like, it's Tripod. This guy helped me out so much. Like, Bill Apter loves Jan.
We got to get him on the dump truck. I think it'd be hilarious.
Oh my God, I would love to have Bill Apter on. Jesus.
It was just so funny. He was just very thankful, and like that interaction was probably like 4 or 5 hours later.
Yeah. And he was telling his family about you. And also, folks, if you wanted to start calling Jan Tripod, I think that's a pretty cool nickname.
Sure, yeah, I'll take it.
But then I also remember the context of that nickname with Dr. Evil and Mini-Me. But
you know what? I'll also take it. It's fine. I'll take it from a point of I'm very stable.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Stable Jan.
Yeah,
Tripod. Tripod Ochoa.
Oh my God.
And then just equally as deep of a friendship that you have with Bill Apter, I have with Cowboy Bob Orton now.
Yeah, I know. It was a very warm moment.
Kindred souls. Yeah. He was standing downstairs here at WrestleCon, and he was just standing there. He's just an old guy. He's got long white hair now, and he had a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And not checking a phone or anything. He's an old guy. I don't even know if he has a phone.
Yeah.
Wasn't with anyone.
Nope.
Just Cowboy Bob Orton, Randy Orton's dad, just standing in a lobby. And I just went up and I was like, "That's Bob Orton, right?" And
Yeah.
And I walked up and I was like, "Bob Orton?" Yeah. And I shook his hand. I was like, "Hey, pleasure to meet you. Yeah, you're a legend." And I walked away.
Yep. It was like a friendship that was supposed to meant to be.
Yeah, it was one of the best wrestler interactions I've ever had.
It was very positive. It was very warm.
I have to say hi to Cowboy Bob.
Yeah, I think Cowboy Bob is still disassociating downstairs.
He's down there. Yeah. That was 4 days ago, but he's still there. Yeah.
Oh, which wrestler looked at you like you were a waiter?
Oh, fucking Ricky Morton. I were walking by the bar, and I'm just dressed like this. I just have a jacket and jeans on.
Yeah.
I don't have a name tag or anything. And Ricky Morton just looks dead at me. No one else is around, and he makes a signal for another round of drinks. Come on, give me another like that. And I'm just looking at him like, what the fuck? No, and I just kept walking. What else do we got? Bill Apter, Hoodie Dink. Oh yeah, Hoodie Dink had a purse too, which was Dink with hoodie and purse is just a weird, it's just a crazy look. Then we got Honky Tonk. Oh, the LA Knight fight at Media Day.
Oh, yeah. We waited in line for, I want to say, close to an hour to interview AJ.
Yeah, because again, the Media Day situation was shitty.
Yeah, very different than last year's setup.
Yes.
And just as you were about to hand one of these mics to AJ Styles.
Yeah, I'm walking up, and I'm thinking, I've got a bunch of fun questions planned for him and stuff like that.
Oh, my God, Dan. We stayed up so late.
Yeah.
Going through the list of superstars that would be there.
Yeah.
Catering questions to them. We also bought props.
Yeah, we did.
We bought, because we were thinking okay, if these interviews go a little bit short, we still want to maximize our time with them.
We wanted something that was universal that we could ask anyone.
Yeah.
Where it's just okay, we have all the bespoke questions and stuff, but people get slotted in and out, so it's you don't know. It's something that might throw somebody. It's oh shit, we didn't have anything planned for this person.
Yeah.
Or we didn't know they were going to be here.
Yeah.
So we needed universal things.
Yeah. So we bought catchphrases. We went on a goose chase for catchphrase. We got a bop it and a yo-yo.
Yeah, so with the idea being if we needed something for someone that it'd be hey, you got a really busy weekend, I'm sure a lot of stress and everything, you want to just unwind with the game, let's see how far we can get in the catchphrase, me and you as a team, or how far can you get on a bop it, or do you have any yo-yo tricks you can show us? And so that was the plan, and then we came up with all these questions and everything.
Yeah.
Had good ones for AJ, and I'm walking up, and I'm in my head trying to remember all the questions. I'm is he going to remember me? I've worked with him a few times.
Right.
We talked video games, so had some video game questions for him and everything. And so I'm walking up to him with the mic and going out to shake the hand, and he's not even looking up. And I'm just kind of standing there because I'm not going to because he's just kind of looking on the side, and he's kind of talking like a WWE press person or something. And I'm okay, I'll just wait until.
Yeah.
And he just goes oh, you're going to sit me next to this douchebag? I was what the fuck's going on here? And I look over and oh, LA Knight is at the next stand. And it's oh, they must be buddies, and they're kind of jaw-jacking or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he throws the chair over. AJ throws a chair at LA Knight, And LA's like, oh yeah, and he gets up and starts like getting in his face. And then right before they come to blows, I'm like, oh right, they're working. I just forgot that they were in a feud. I was up in my head about my questions, like, oh, they have a match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
They're working right now. And I just had to back the fuck up, like, all right, whatever.
And then like they start tussling, they roll around the floor.
AJ got busted open.
He got busted open. His shirt disappeared.
Yeah.
Poor Roxanne Perez almost got tackled by these two big ass dudes.
She was not prompt. She was not giving Iggy on that one.
And then like these their producer people, I think maybe different producer people than they normally have, because like two of them, Dan, as the scuffle was happening, goes like, I'm calling security. I don't know what's happening.
The people that work in there?
Yeah.
I talked to a few of them, and I was like, asking like, oh, are you in Stanford?
Sure.
Like, and one of them was like, oh no, I work for TKO. I'm on the UFC side, and they just kind of like tapped us for this. So like, I think it was a bunch of people from the shoot sport that are used to like, I mean, I know there's like theatrics and stuff, but like they wouldn't. Well, I guess like weigh-ins and stuff, but like they were not prepared for this.
But like at a weigh-in, you expect it to get a little bit heated. This is like a media junket.
Yes, this felt like a few people, like AJ, LA, and maybe like a guy that placed them together knew about it, because everyone. I mean, it made it feel real.
Yeah, it was funny. It was very funny.
But then after like 45 minutes or whatever, waiting in line, I'm just standing there like, well, that was the guy we were going to talk to. And then,
we had some really good questions.
Yeah.
But thankfully we were able to get in line and interview Jade Cargill.
Yes.
What a star-making weekend for Jade also. I mean, we talked about her match.
Yeah.
And the other neat thing, Dan, is all the people we met, all the fun Giant Bomb community folks that said hi.
In the parking lot, the tailgating situation, we were given numerous beers and met a bunch of people, took a bunch of pictures. At WWE World, at the tailgate, at the hotel, all over the place.
Yeah, very kind people.
A lot of people. Yeah.
I think wrestling fans are okay.
Yeah, it's probably this way with any fandom, but like it's easy to like get annoyed with just like when you just see the stuff online or just stupid drama and stuff like that, or complaints in the comments or whatever. Like it's easy to just be like, man, fuck the internet, fuck the fan bases, fuck fandoms and stuff like that.
The tribalism.
Yeah, exactly, all that shit. But then like when you just meet people, it's just like a lot of that internet bullshit gets dropped, and it's just like nice people.
Yeah, and it's fun chatting about like wrestling with people and just hearing like, okay, like what convoluted way do you think this convoluted match is going to end as well? Yeah,
I mean, it was. I'm sure this podcast will come out well before the tailgate video, but we shot a lot of stuff on the tailgate outside of WrestleMania, and I was just walking up to random groups of people that were just like cooking stuff and drinking, and just like, hey, what do you think? Yeah, is Cody going to finish the story? And just watch, like, it's just like throwing a firecracker in a room and seeing my friends be like, no, fuck you, man. Like it was great. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think I can say that both of us are walking away thinking Philly is pretty sick.
Yeah, and I got to look online to see if the Chicky and Pete's crab fries seasoning is available online.
Yeah,
I like that. I'm getting some of that tonight.
I need a can of that. Yeah,
we're getting a bucket tonight at Wells Fargo.
Maybe we get 2 buckets.
Yeah, I'm getting extra cheese too.
Yeah. Dan, any other highlights?
I think that's the bulk of it. It's
shouts out to Chris Hayner for helping us out.
Yes,
and just being hanging out with us and rolling tough with us. Throughout the weekend.
Yep, he took charge during the lift nightmare last night.
Oh yeah,
great. But yeah, I continue to think it's funny to stay with the WrestleCon hotel just because the weird things you can see are a lot of fun as a wrestling fan.
Yeah. The other one more moment, actually. You made another best friend.
Who was this?
For whatever reason, Dan and I are walking back through WrestleMania Worlds, which is like the Access fan little WWE thing they got going on. We're walking down, we're making the rounds again, and I stop dead in my tracks, pull the phone out to start recording Dan, and then we see in the distance
Sonic's
third friend, just the giant knuckles.
Yeah, and you caught my reaction as soon as I saw him. I'm just like, what the fuck? Just shoot Knuckles? Just walking around?
Just shoot Knuckles walking around, and like he has like the most like blank dead expression ever for a mascot.
Turns out the funniest expression to have if someone else is like hugging you warmly, just be like, fists, and like straight face.
He broke my hand when I fist bumped him.
Oh yeah, well, he's got the Knuckles, yeah. I think that was also around the time Big E gave me a little bit of shit because I want to say hi to E because I ran into Kofi, saw Woods backstage of things. I used to work closely with the New Day guys, and Big E gave me shit. He was like, "I see you doing like a meet and greet photo with Cody." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Why did you do that?" He's like, "I've been to Cody's house with Big E," and he's like, "Did you wait in a long line to meet this guy you know?" I was like, "No, we kind of talked some people and kind of snuck in there." Yeah, I like E being like, "Why did you take a mark photo with this guy you know?" But I'm glad you got to meet him.
Yeah,
that dude is there is a reason he has seen the success he has seen.
Yeah. That story is finished, and I'm very excited for what this means for the future of WWE and professional wrestling as a whole. I think there's nowhere but up.
No, it is not lip service. It is not just a marketing thing to say it's the new era. I don't know if we have to call it the Paul Levesque era. I mean, not to diminish how much of an impact he has on it, because it is monumental, his impact on things. I just don't think we have to call it the Paul Levesque era, or I don't even know. Renaissance era has been thrown around.
What about the Plera?
The Plera?
Yeah, the Paul Levesque era.
Oh, no,
Plera.
I don't like that one bit.
Right.
No,
I'm going to get it over.
But whatever it's named, I do think that this does feel, in a lot of ways, like the beginning of a new era. From all the title changes. Gunther's changed hands. Cody's changed hands. Several titles changed hands. Bailey, absolutely. It feels different. The amount of times we were hearing wrestling said, the camera work. Just all those bullshit things that hung over that company for its entire existence and only got worse as he got older. Yeah. He got more out of touch and got way more strict on his fucking, when I was working there, it was so many lists of things not to say, so many weird rules, so many just unwritten things that, there's the things you hear about in the dirt sheets, and he doesn't say championship or doesn't say belt or whatever. But then there's all this weird shit that you wouldn't even know about. And for people that were, behind the scenes, it was just this constant specter over the entire company. Yeah. And for them to be able to just do the shit they're good at now and not be tied to this horrible man and not be tied to his horrible ideas, it does feel, it feels like a new era. 100%.
And like you said, it definitely felt like after a while, as like a fan that is also tuning into the internet, reading the sheets and everything, there is a blatant disrespect for the actual audience.
Spite of fuck you.
Fuck you for liking this, but I'm going to continue fleecing you. Yeah. But now it's okay, you can actually be happy as a wrestling fan.
I mean, think about they've done this with several characters. I remember Bailey when she was feuding with Alexa Bliss.
Oh my God.
Bailey was supposed to be booed or seen to be a loser because part of her character was, I grew up and I liked wrestling when I was growing up. And Vince saw that as oh, what a loser, and so booked her to look like an idiot, because she was a wrestling, she was a mark growing up. It's that contempt for the fan base, and now it's no, we all fucking love wrestling. Let's give the people what they want. Take them on a ride.
This has definitely been a frickin' ride, Dan. I don't think I'm ready for next year, whatever that looks like.
Well. Come on up to Minnesota.
I can't wait to stay at the Reichert compound.
Yeah. You love the cold, don't you?
Oh, my God, Dan. I can't do the cold here.
Look, April only gets a decent amount of snow in Minnesota.
Jesus Christ.
Not too crazy.
Why do they do this? I definitely... it would be very, very nice to have more of the GB crew out here.
Oh, yeah.
And just running amok.
Oh, I mean, I look at the difference in what I was able to do last year at Mania, which was, very limited.
Sure, yeah, because pretty much a solo operation.
Yeah, me what the fuck? you know, I kind of made that work in Fargo, but even that wasn't easy. You know, like traveling solo and trying to get footage and, you know, audio and video and stuff is very hard. Having you here was an absolute game changer to be able to just like, hey, you mic me up, and I just run around, talk to people, and do my bullshit.
Yeah.
I can't imagine with having others, you know, like if we had a Grub or a Minotti or, you know,
Yeah. And then, like, Dan, I gotta say, I admire your ability, your uncanny ability to walk into a situation and just excel and thrive in it. It is astounding to see, and I admire it so much.
Well, thank you, because I get in my head and I worry about, like, when I was walking around the parking lot, I was feeling like I was being too, like, I'm being too, like, I don't want to approach them, I don't want to, like, I don't have anything good for this. Like, I was in my head thinking, like, I'm not doing enough.
No. That did not come across at all.
Okay.
The level of bravery, Dan.
Bravery? Go talk to drunk guys about wrestling.
Yeah, because my experience of talking to drunk sports fans can always turn sideways very quick.
Hey, wrestling, we're all now forever together, Jan.
Wow.
We're all together, us wrestling fans. Yes.
And we're gonna go watch more wrestling later.
Jesus, I'm getting more crab fries.
Yeah, I'm gonna need those crab fries. Also special shouts out to Jason Finelli. It was great meeting that dude in person.
He's fantastic, yes.
Bummed we couldn't make our way out to his tailgate, but the burgers did look delicioso.
Yes. Let's make sure before Raw, text after. I'll text Cowboy Bob. We'll meet up for dinner beforehand.
I mean, he's still in the lobby.
Oh, yeah, I'll just go down and ask him. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time for another Power Bombcast, because wrestling is not going to end.
We should do more of these. I like talking about wrestling with you and the others.
Yeah, should we do this more often?
We probably should.
It's
fun to talk about, and it's good now. We probably should.
Yeah, because there's AEW stuff to chat about.
Stuff coming Wednesday. That sounds like it's going to be good to talk about. So.
Okay.
All right.
And beautiful. I can take that, Dan.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Excellent. I thought that was good.